we are not selling the properties. Now we are keeping all the properties. I understood what is the legacy that we want to leave. I regret so much about selling all these properties. I always get like a lot of deals. And during COVID, we were locked down. We couldn't do a lot of things. So that's when I started listening to your podcast. People think sometimes that you can save some money by not doing some kind of inspections. But then in the long run, you can regret about what is coming out there.
What are some of the biggest mistakes or the most costly mistakes that you see happen on the property management side of these deals?
The biggest mistake is...
Welcome back to Multifamily Rockstars. So as you guys know, this is where we interview people that are just crushing it in this business, and we show you the inside scoop as to how multifamily investors are creating massive success in their businesses and of course in their lives as well. And as always, I've got my co-host, who's the director of our massive action team for my Warrior Group, Mark Nagy, on. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Rod. Happy to be back at it again.
So we've got a great guest today. His name is Victor Gomez, and Victor actually has a lot of background in construction. He has a construction company, and he moved here from Mexico, and he has a property management company. He manages doors, 260 doors for other people. And then since he's been a Warrior, he's gotten into 141 units, 130 as a syndication and 11 in a joint venture. So very excited to have him on. Victor, welcome to the show, my friend.
Hello, Rod. Hello, Mark. Thanks so much for having me. It's such an honor to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. So why don't, I know that English isn't your first language, so we'll get through it. That's okay.
Thank you.
And just, that's just, in my opinion, that's just an additional testament to your determination and drive to make this happen. So, there's no reason, that's the reason you're successful, because you don't let anything stop you. But why don't you take a minute and give us a little better background on who you are and maybe why you joined the Warrior program, why real estate. Yeah, so just take it away, my friend.
Thanks so much. So I started my career in corporate banking. I used to work for American banks back in Mexico. I always wanted to come to the US, to live here. But when I joined the banks, there was the financial crisis. So I stopped. I wanted to come here, but my bosses, they wanted to send me here, but no matter how hard I tried, they were saying like, we are firing people, so we can send you to the US. So I just quit my job. I started a construction company. I came here, like that. Back then, my friends were saying like I was crazy to leave a prominent job.
Right.
But you just roll up your sleeves and go there and pursue your dream. And I became a broker as well, doing real estate. I have flipped over 300 single family houses so far.
Wow. So you got your broker's license, you flipped over 300 houses, you left a great job in Mexico City to just blindly come to the United States to chase your dream. That is freaking beautiful, brother. I mean, that's the ultimate immigration story, if you ask me. Yeah. So that's beautiful. And then you started your property management company as well, yes?
Yeah, actually, it was during the pandemic that, I became too comfortable, probably, I would say. For me, it's really easy to get deals, wholesalers or people trying to find me always because I'm a go-getter. I always, get like a lot of deals. And during COVID, I started to, we were locked down. We couldn't do a lot of things. So that's when I started listening to your podcast, which is, it's thrilled with all what you can get. And that's why I decided to join your mentorship, and which that's bring me to scale. Your coaching gave me so much confidence in myself that now I can take more customers, more clients, more friends to join me, to partner, to show them what I'm really doing, how good I am at doing what I'm doing. So definitely that's one of the best things that I have done in order to scale up my business. Before we used to be my family and us. Now we have over 20 something partners, and this is really what gets me the most. Your coach, what brought me here.
No, thank you. Now I know you did a syndication, and you also did a joint venture, which are two completely different things. So those of you listening, a joint venture is when everybody that's in the deal is actively involved in the deal. They're all doing work on the deal. Now, syndication is when you take money from somebody and they're not involved, you have to do a syndication. It's not a big deal. You just hire an attorney and you do it. But I know you did both of those with Warriors, right? The JV and the syndication. Is that correct?
Yeah, it was such a great experience to scale up. I used to be doing this, but in single family, which is one by one, but never manage a property that big. It's kind of the same, but so go big, go home, as you always say. So
Right.
it's getting bigger, and the knowledge you get, it's quite awesome when you join a syndication, for example.
Yeah, sure.
How did you leverage your background? You said you came from construction as well as property management company. How did you use that experience and then roll that over into now being a multifamily investor, or have you used it at all?
Yeah, definitely. I think I have a lot of input. For on the single family space where I'm, where I have been, I've been doing everything, right? Since trying to get the deals, do the due diligence, the deal underwriting, trying to get the lenders in place, the management of the company, the renovation. So now bringing this is a little pie to the big, to the big cake, because it's like I said, it's kind of the same, but in a bigger way. So I have been bringing all this probably not small knowledge that I have, which have helped my warriors, my partners to leverage what they know and help us, creating a better relations or better, content, trying to manage better the properties.
Sure. As part of this journey of yours, I mean, you've done some major things. You immigrated. You didn't have anything when you got here. You just built yourself out of nothing here, and as part of the progress into multifamily, were there any aha moments, any moments where you're like, okay, now I get it? You did 300 flips. I'm guessing at some point you're like, okay, I'm only as good as the last flip, so maybe I should look at something else. Maybe that was one, but I don't want to put words in your mouth. But any moments that were like, we call them epiphanies, where you're like, okay, now I get it, kind of a moment. If you have anything comes to mind when I ask that.
Yeah, again, when I was during COVID, I began to read some of the books that you are sending us, to listen books, and one of the biggest changes to our family, actually, because all my family work together here with me. It's now we are not selling the properties. Now we are keeping all the properties. I understood what it was long-term wealth, what is the legacy that we want to leave. Like I said, I regret so much about, selling all these properties now. Now that's why we started again with the property management company, because now we manage the property to get to the long-term wealth. I strongly believe in that. And again, that's what has been scaling.
That's huge.
Our business.
Yeah, that's huge. I will tell you, I've regret just about every property I've ever sold. There's a couple dogs like Shreveport and Memphis stuff that I sold, but other than that, I regret every one. My first interview was with a billionaire named Albert Beres, and he said something that really stuck with me. And he said, I'm a real estate buyer, not a seller. And and I appreciate you acknowledging the books that I send. My love language is gifts. There's a book called The 5 Love Languages. And I got to have the author on my show, but my love language is gifts. So, as you know, my warriors get lots of books from me, but thank you. Yeah.
What are some of the, coming from that property management background, what are some of the biggest mistakes or the most costly mistakes that you see happen on the property management side of these deals?
The biggest mistake is not doing the correct inspection. That's for sure.
Inspections.
Yeah.
Inspection.
Yeah, the due diligence. He's talking about initial inspections, right?
Correct. Exactly. Sometimes you want to, everybody wants to save, right? So everybody at the beginning wants to not perform a specific inspection, like, like plumbing deep or roof in deep. And people think sometimes that you can save some money by not doing some kind of inspections. But then in the long run, you can regret about what is coming out there, because it might be looking good outside, but inside it's not like that.
When you don't dig deep, you don't find stuff. You know, I tell the story of my asset in San Antonio, 296 units, and I always bring an inspector, and I've inspected thousands of properties, probably tens of thousands actually, and so I'm pretty good at it. But I always bring somebody else, and I brought a general contractor, and he saw something that I didn't see, and you had to stand just perfectly at a wall to see that the wall was bulging at the top, and so there was some structural damage, and we got a 6-figure settlement from the seller because I brought this guy for $1,000. Probably less than 1,000 to come inspect, and we made 6 figures in a concession to get that stuff fixed. So yeah, no, you you can't see what's in the sewer lines. If there's trees, you better scope the sewer lines. Exactly. If it's an older property, you better make sure it's not aluminum wiring, and if it is, it better have pigtails and so on and so forth. Some of the PVC is substandard as well. So let me ask you this. We get a lot of people that haven't taken action on their dreams yet. They know they want this, they know they want to do something, and they can see that there are deals coming, and I can tell you they're coming. We've got LOIs out on 4 deals right now. By the way, an LOI, guys, is a letter of intent. You do that before you sign a contract, because you always have always use an attorney for contracts, and contracts cost money, right? So you do what's called a letter of intent to let the seller or the broker know of your intent to want to buy it. You work out the major deal points, and then you do a contract. But we get a lot of listeners that know they need to do something, haven't taken action yet. But what words of wisdom would you share with somebody like an aspiring commercial real estate investor, somebody that knows they should do something, maybe want to do this? What would you say to them?
Well, first of all, join your program, your mentoring program.
Well, okay, I wasn't reaching for that, but thank you.
Yeah, but you have to be an action taker. You have to really want and pursue that dream. I have some, I know some people that they will probably read 1,000 books, but they never apply what they read.
Yep, they don't do it. Yeah,
they don't do it. So you have to have the guts to do it, to take the action.
Right.
And for example, you have to get a mentor. You have to get always people that has the knowledge to show you the correct way. I know people that they do it by themselves. There are some really smart people that they can do it by themselves. It doesn't say that it's you cannot do it. But it's easier if you get a mentor to teach you the correct way to do it.
And it's faster.
Faster.
Yeah. And it's faster.
And less costly, I will say.
And less seminars, as we call it. Victor, like you said, it is primarily, or a lot of it's mindset. It's not just about the knowledge, it's about mindset. And like at my boot camp, I had 1,000 people there, and we spend a lot of time on goals and why those goals are a must, and all sorts of other mindset exercises that we did, because 80 to 90% of your success in anything is the mindset to actually take action with what you learn. And that's why my warriors are somewhere between 170 and 180,000 units that they own. It's just mind-blowing to me, because I've only been teaching a little over 5 years, and it's because they actually take action with what they learn. And by the way, if you're interested in the Warrior Program, text the word crush to 72345 so we can help you freaking crush it in this business. And if there was ever a time to get into this business, it is right freaking now. So again, text crush to 72345, and you look us over, we'll look you over. We don't take everybody, but would love to have you consider it. And I will tell you, even if we don't, if it's not a fit, you'll leave that call better than when you started it. So the next question I want to ask you is, you talk about how your family is part of your team. And I know family is I think, probably more important for, the Latino community than anybody else out there. I've seen it, time and time again. It's a beautiful thing. But you've got your family there. So talk a little bit about the dynamics of that, and who, maybe who does what, and how you've managed that.
We came here with an investor's visa. Everybody, right. all of us, investing in the construction business. I'm the more English fluent, if I can say that.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. Sure.
So I'm more the one who's trying to get the deals and speak with the investor relationship now, bringing all my friends. We just partnered with friends. We don't want to go that deep. We prefer to have a lot of quality investors than to have a quantity. Right. So that's what I'm doing. My wife, my sister, and my sister-in-law. They are terrific on the administration and the bookkeeping and the
Oh,
management.
wow.
So they help me
Nice.
with all that. My brother and my brother-in-law, they are the boots on the ground. So they are,
Oh,
reviewing all the properties, where the management that we had to, the renovation, the
nice.
permits, everything, the day to day.
Wow.
So yeah, that's how
Nice,
we do it.
nice, nice, nice. So everybody's playing to their strengths, right?
Yes,
So
correct,
everybody's
exactly.
doing what they're good at. Like you said, your wife and sister, I forgot who else, they're on the
My
admin
sister-in-law.
side. They like doing that. The details. The guys are out there, boots on the ground, having fun, kicking the doors and doing that
Exactly.
sort of thing. And yeah, I love it, love it, love it.
I have a curiosity because a lot of people's family members, most of the time, have no interest in real estate investing, right? They try and talk them out of it. Did your family have interest in multifamily when you first got started, or did you kind of lead the way, show some success, and then they joined afterwards?
My family used to. My brother started this. My brother and my mother started this construction back in Mexico. They used to build
Mm,
four,
nice,
6-story building.
nice.
They always want me to join them back in Mexico. I never wanted. I was like more to
Oh, so it was
the
the opposite.
corporate. Yeah, I was like, no, no, no. I will nail it, and then corporate side. So until I quit, I was the first to come here to the US, and then all my family follow up. So
Oh, that's
so
nice. That's nice.
yeah, it was
Nice.
hard to convince them, probably not that much, that life, the quality of life that we have here is so much better than what you used to have in Mexico, even though we had like a very good living in Mexico, but
Mm.
here is totally different.
Greatest country on earth. I don't care where you
That's
come
true.
from, and I don't care
Yeah,
what you
no,
say. I'll fight you toe to toe on that one. We live in the greatest
totally.
country on earth. I'm an immigrant too. So are you in Southeast Florida? Are you in the Miami area? Is that where you went?
Yes,
Yeah.
in Palm Beach County.
Oh, nice. Oh, Palm Beach. Okay, nice,
Yeah,
nice, nice.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So let me ask you this. Now you're an entrepreneur. Fear is not a big word for you because
Yeah,
I mean
no.
you immigrated. You're the first one here and all that. But did you have any fear as to any pieces of this? Like getting involved in this. Were there any fears, or if not, then maybe people in your family and how? I just wanted curious how you got over the fear, or how you helped other people get over the fear, because I'm sure there was fear in there somewhere.
So failure is always, the biggest fear I think we will
Yeah,
have always.
sure.
Like since the beginning, like I said, a lot of friends were telling me, what the heck are you thinking about? What are you doing? Now that my friends or family see what we have done, we have grew up, everybody or people could say like, oh, that was easy. But, of course it's not that easy to do it. But my biggest fear was that someday, or for something, I would have with investor visa. It's not it's not that you're gonna be staying here in the US forever, right? You can renew your visa as long as your business continues, but there's no right path through getting citizenship or
Oh.
green card, right? So you could have 50 years the investor's visa just renewing, and
Oh, wow, but you have to have a business.
you
So
have to have a
I
business.
know where you're going with this. So if you fail in the business, not only do you fail in the business, you're back to Mexico.
Exactly.
Wow. Now
All the family back. So
that's some serious motivation.
yeah,
That is
That's
some
burning the
serious
ships right there.
motivation. Yeah,
yeah,
no
yeah.
kidding. But that's, that fear is that's a very powerful motivator in that regard.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. That's a lot of people don't have that, that extreme of a consequence if things don't go right. So, I get it now. Wow.
But luckily not anymore, because we already got the green card. So
Oh, you did? Oh, fantastic,
yeah.
brother. Oh, thank God. Thank
I just got it
God.
last year. So
Oh,
10 years,
thank God.
10 years without nothing, but yeah.
Good for you, man. I salute you for that. So let me ask you this. Knowing what you know now, would you have done anything differently? Is there anything you might have done differently knowing what you know now?
We spoke at the beginning, not selling every house. I regret so much.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I feel
I
you,
regret
man.
that,
Because you
and-
look back on what you sold those for and what they're worth now, and you're just like, oh, good God. You know, I had 500 houses in Denver that I sold. If I hadn't sold those, I would be netting. They'd be free and clear, and I would be netting every single month $1 million.
Yeah.
Every month. So yeah, woulda, coulda, shoulda. But anyway,
Yeah, that and you know, I guess you can ask any billionaire in real estate, and the answer will be always the same, which is start sooner.
yeah. That's right.
Well, I want to
I'm
ask.
glad you said billionaire instead of millionaire, because
Yeah.
I see where your head's at. I love it, brother.
Yeah. No, one thing that when you talk about your, you know, on the bootcamp, the first one that I assisted was the virtual one because of COVID again.
Right.
And you talk about all these like the picture goals that you have, and you show like the car that you wanted, the watch that you wanted.
Right.
My wife, they have this tradition in their family. They do it every Christmas when they, you know, family get together, and we all, you know, cut from the news from magazines, and you know, like our vision board. So
nice.
when you said that, I was like, oh, I have that one too, and I love it. I every year we try at least to do like 70% what we put there. So
yeah,
it's a big.
Wow, that's beautiful, man. That's. Yeah, guys, I hope you're hearing this, man. I mean, they're doing the vision boards, they're doing the goals, which is why they're super freaking successful. It's kind of a no-brainer here, and those vision boards are so incredibly powerful. Doing your goals is so powerful. That's why it's the first thing we do at my boot camps.
Now, I want to transition to one practical thing. We've talked about goals, mindset, all that stuff. What are some actions that you take on a weekly basis, or maybe even just some advice, right, that listeners can do every single week to get started,
or day,
yeah, or every day, right? Whether it's networking, talking to an investor, looking at deals. What's something that a listener could take from this podcast and go actionably do and take action on every day or every week?
Stop complaining. Just do it.
I love it, man. Just do it. Like Nike says, just freaking do it. Get your butt to my boot camp. Start looking at deals. Start getting around people that are doing this. Read books about this. Suffer through my podcast. You know, do whatever you have to do to freaking make this happen. That's what you do. Well, listen, brother, I appreciate you coming on, man. And especially because, you know, this isn't the easiest for you to have a conversation like this. And I asked you when you first came on, I said, how many podcast interviews have you done? And you said, this is the first one. And I said, well, go big or go home. It's the largest in the world. So no pressure, no stress.
And by the way, just real quick, because I actually got this, I brought on a new warrior last week, not from Mexico, but from Europe, who also had a language barrier. And he asked me that question. He said, can I actually do this with English as my second language? And for anybody listening to where English is your second language, Victor is perfect proof that it can be done. It's just an excuse that you're making for yourself. If you tell yourself
it's a story. It's a story. We tell ourselves stories so that we don't get disgusted with ourselves as to why we're not taking action. And that's a story. Change your stories, change your life. I've got students in Turkey, Israel, Mexico, Canada, the Netherlands.
Well, Canada speaks English, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's different. But it's different. You know, the financing's different. The syndication's different. Entity structure's different. But you know, and they're successful in all these different countries.
Yes.
So Turkey. I mean, so tell me and I've got several in Mexico.
Venezuela, I think.
Venezuela. Yep. So, you know, don't just change your story, change your freaking life. Victor, it's great to see you, brother. All right. Well, you take care, my friend. I appreciate you coming on. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Mark,
Thanks so much.
Mark, I'll see you later, buddy. Take care.